Hey, welcome back to Gierok Farms, and today we're going to be fixing a water cup heater in the bull barn. It's getting dark out here, so we got to do that before it gets dark, and let's get to it.
So we're going to show you guys how I keep organized with the parts. There's all my heaters. There's two different style heaters. We have to keep parts on hand because we don't know the heater goes out until it's cold. And the last cold snap we had, one of the cups was iced up for me, but then it was supposed to warm up, so I thought I would just wait till it's warmer to fix it, which is supposed to get cold now again. This thing is full. There's some used parts in there, but there's a new valve. That's where supply hose. These are all things we've had trouble with in the past. I've had these waters for over 20 years. And we added more. This is a thermostat. This is all replaceable parts. There's parts in here that maybe, I guess they would still get you by if you had to, but this is something we have to have on hand. So usually every fall we look at what we have and what we don't have and what we've used up, and we get some more ordered. All right, so the waters are called Nelson waters. Now you can see here, I show my heaters again here. These are for the ones by the bull. This is a little smaller version, which is in our calf barn. Looks like I got two larger ones and one smaller one here on hand. Actually, maybe I've got two of each. But anyway, these are known to go out maybe every, I don't know, 6 to 8 years. I haven't really been keeping track. It's just something, this is one component I cannot run without. So we're gonna take this with us. We gotta get some tools, and then we'll talk about the waters a little more. We gotta get the tools I think I might need, and I always take this little toolbox with. So we got some wiring going on here, so we might need okay, so that's a start. So we're gonna go up there and get going with what we got. Very wet and very foggy out today, which it's gonna get dark early, account of it. But I believe it's gonna get a little colder in the next few days. We just fed the cattle, so hopefully they leave us alone while we do this. So here's the logo here. I think they're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, is where these are made. And I came across these at a farm show probably 25 years ago. Now, I've done videos on this before. If you want to look back, maybe there's something we'll forget to mention. These are in the manger, so you get a little hay junk that ends up in them. And you got this stainless steel tray and a lid that keeps it from popping out. And how this works, I gotta shut the power off. That's the lights there. That's the lights there. So the one in the middle must be my water cups. Yeah, so that's very important to get the water shut off. I'm gonna put some hay here for me to kneel on. So what we got here is the supply line coming up through like a small culvert. And then this here device is bolted onto this concrete pad here. We'll show some diagrams of it. There's some literature they send us. So first of all, we're gonna shut our water off. There's like a valve in here. This works with weight. So the weight of the water actually shuts the valve off. I think for smaller cattle, this is the best I've ever found. Maybe larger cattle, or where there's a lot more cattle, you know, you may want something better and bigger. And these they use them at the zoos, and they show them getting used for like buffalo, these here size, and then the other one's a little smaller. That's just for smaller animals. We gotta keep our parts from falling into the hay and getting lost. That's why it does help to have a box or something that you can. And then of course the cattle always gotta, you know, they're just curious. They're just doing what cattle do. Okay.
Same with Mariska. She's getting curious.
Well, she's looking for attention because we're down here at her level now, so that's okay. Sometimes you ain't so bad as the cattle. So this is what they call the balance beam, and there's this big chunk of lead here. I think that's what that is. And then there's a little bit of an adjustment here, and basically it adjusts it so that it depends on how much water you want in that tray. See, so your water level, that'll control your water level by how much weight, and there's a little bit of engineering there to get that figured out. Typically when I gotta do a heater, it's already below 0 and it may be dark already. So now I gotta be careful so I don't end up dropping any tools down this hole. That's the other issue, because whatever falls down there stays down there forever and ever, amen, I guess. So all the components in here are stainless steel. I think they come in aluminum too, the shell of this whole thing, but we got stainless, and it just costs more is all. You got stainless steel anchors. Now the only issue I got with this water, if I had to tell Nelson to, it should be made bigger, a little more easier to work on. I mean, down in here, there's not a lot of room. And this is the larger one. The smaller ones are worse. And I think they're just trying to be economical with this whole thing. You know, the bigger everything is, the more it costs. And we're gonna have to disconnect our supply line. We got a big magnet there on a big hunk of steel, so that should hold that. So what I have is, I think I got 4 of them in the calf barn, 1 in the maternity pen, or 5. I think I have 5 in there. And then we have 2 in this barn. And again, I think when you got a really large number of cattle, like if you had to have like 40, 50 head drink out of one of these, you'd probably want something a little bigger. Being that we got 16 on this side, and we have 20 on this side of dry cows and heifers. And this side's got 2 waters they can drink out of. This side's got 1 in the winter and 2 in the summer. We got 1 shut off. It's a different kind, and it usually freezes up before December, so I just shut it off. That's what they call a mirror fountain. Now that was a good design, except for cleaning them out. I never liked it. They weren't as sanitary. For smaller cattle, that's not as good. So here's our heater, and I got to take that off of this beam here. Here comes Owen back with the wrenches. Now be careful so you don't drop down the hole. Well, I don't know if we have to actually take that part off, do we? Maybe we should leave that on. Sometimes it's in the way. I think on the smaller ones I had to take it off, and I think we're gonna be all right here. So this valve here will be getting replaced at times. There's like a little pin in there with a spring. It's simple to replace, but again, working in this small hole. But you kind of generally see what we got. We got a wire that comes up through, and then our thermostat is right here. So we're gonna have to get in there. And then there's a little bit of foam insulation around this to help be a little more conservative. Heating it part. Now that'll only turn on when it's below freezing. And then whatever's below this won't freeze because it's getting the heat from the earth. You gotta realize that your earth is 50 degrees. That's enough to keep the water from freezing until it gets above this. And then it gets up in here where the cattle drink, you gotta have a little bit of heat. There's actually a lid you can get for this too, that if you weren't gonna be using it. Yeah, I think I put some silicone on there to seal it. Oh, we might want to reuse that again. So we got some compressed air here. I got a tank. We're gonna blow this out. Okay, not much air, but does the trick. Okay, so we had to take our whole thing off the concrete pad because I gotta get into this box, and they don't leave me much room there. So, and there's 4 stainless steel bolts that hold that in place. So, and then it's less likely we drop something in there, but this wiring is one of them things. There's just not a lot of room here.
We just got the heater disconnected from all the wires in that box.
Okay, so then we gotta take these stainless screws out. Make sure we put everything back the same way. So that'll go there. Okay, we got our wiring done. Little finagling. Now we're gonna try to get this back in there without something getting broke. to snug them up. So what I did when I poured the concrete for this block here is I took this water and I set it into the cement so it made a little indentation so that you don't get an air gap down along the bottom here. Now a person can use silicone, you can, there's kind of other recommendations for this, but after I've done several of these waters, I realized let's just do that. And then of course it was just so that it would, and then after the concrete dried, that water would insert into that. And then that way you knew your anchors were in the right spot. Because concrete, you only get one shot at getting it right. Once it dries, you're gonna live with it, so. Okay, so our wire's good there. Get this guy in. My line's gotta be on top. And that goes there. Here, why don't you try this one? Your fingers are smaller. If you hold them, maybe I can put the screwdriver on top. On this side of that supply line. So you just don't make a lot of room here to work on things because stuff's gonna go bad. It's just the way it is. It's not a really good environment. It's damp in here all the time. So when the heater's on, everything kind of dries out real nice in here. But that's only when it's really cold. So the water flow is controlled by that little screw, and that just pushes the valve down further. So we're gonna turn our water on, and then we'll show you guys how that works before we put our power on. And that's the thing, we have to be careful that we don't mix the water with the electricity, and that's part of this setup that I'm not so okay with, that the electricity is very close to the water.
And okay, now
so if you turn it down, you get it running when it's in the lock position, and this is a way to flush it out. You open it wide open, put it back in a lock position, then I turn my screw back out until the water shuts off. When you get larger cattle, you run it faster. Smaller cattle can run slower. Now I might have to check this later on this evening. Put that in there and I'll watch it shut off. The weight of the water. Come on, be patient, guys. Then of course when the cattle do their thing with the tongue, they can end up getting some of it underneath the bowl where the electricity is. See, it's still dripping. So we're going to turn that screw just a little bit. And I do keep an old screwdriver by the cups here. Oh. There we go. Now we got to put our lid on. And then there's this little trigger on this side of it that's away from the cattle. And there we go.
Now then get the water. That's how you fix a water heater and one of the Nelson watering cups. We did it in the bull barn. I'm really thankful for you guys watching until the end of the video. Hope to see you guys next time on the next video.